Namaste everyone. We'll get started with our class. Om Shuklam Varadharam Vishnum Shashivarnam Chaturbhujam Prasannavadanam Dhyayet Sarvabhignopashantaye Saraswati Namastubhyam Varade Kamarupini Vidyarambham Karishyami Siddhir me sada Yenakshara samamnayam Adhigamya maheshwarat Kritsnam vyakarnam proktam Tasmai paninaye namaha Vakyakaram vararuchim Bhashyakaram patanjalim Parnanim Sutrakarancha Pranatosmi Munitrayam Vagartha Viva Samprikto Vagartha Pratipattaye Jagatah Pitarau Vande Parvati Parameshwarau Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om. Namaste everyone. Welcome to our class. So getting started with some Sandhi right off the bat. So we had some small exercise to do on the screen here. Please apply the Sandhi to the phrases below. So notice I've mixed up a few things here. So stitaha asmi. So I have, visarga preceded by akara and followed by akara. So this is shivoham sandhi. Yeah. So then the visarga all become o. So stitosmi. Stitosmi, right? Then we look at Ramaha ite. I have visarga preceded by which letter? Akara, followed by E, which is part of ich. Remember ich? Yeah. So that is what we call Arjuna Uvacha Sandhi. So remember, Arjunaha Uvacha becomes Arjuna Uvacha. So here, similarly, Ramaha ite becomes Rama ite. Okay, now this next one, Ramaha edate. Is it preceded by akara? Yes. Is it followed by akara or some other vowel? Some other vowel, right? So if it's anything other than akara and still a vowel, then that visarga is dropped. So Rama edate. And Panchadashaha Adhyaya. We don't even see it with the visarga. We say it so often, right? So it becomes Panchadashodhyaya. Ata Panchadashodhyaya, right? When we chant. No, we're not having lunch or dinner right now because that's usually what we chant before mealtime. Okay. Let's chant our Maheshwara Sutrani. We'll chant together. Om A I Un Rilik A Ong I Ouch Haya Varatha Lan Nyamagananam Jabhanya Gadadash Jabagadadash Kapachatata Chatatav. Let's do that one more again. Kapachatata Chatatav. See, we stop on it letter. So that second of the class has no it letter at the end. So that's why we include all the way to va. Okay, it's a little bit longer there. Kapachatata Chatatav. Kapai Sha, sha, sar, hal, iti maheshwarani sutrani. Okay. Would you like to repeat that next time? Thumbs up or thumbs down? Are you okay? So if you would like to repeat, thumbs up. Okay, we'll repeat it next time. Okay, so I'll take it a little bit more slowly. The pronunciation. The idea is when we chant this every time, and then we can start to have it just in our head. It seems like I remember the first time I was told that I thought they were crazy, right? But it becomes if you chant it enough, it becomes just like our prayers. When we learned our prayers, they were all new prayers for us, right? All these Sanskritam prayers before the class, but now they're all memorized because we've repeated them so many times, right? Okay. All right. So let's start with some Visarga Sandhi. So if you have your Visarga Sandhi, you can open up your books in your Visarga Sandhi. Okay, so as you remember, we learned two, as we talked about in the beginning of class. We learned Shivoham Sandhi, which Visarga is preceded by Akara and followed by Akara. Then they all become O. The second we learned was Arjuna Uvacha. When you have Visarga preceded by Akara and followed by any other vowel, A plus any other vowel, A plus any other vowel, the Visarga drops. Okay, let's go to the next one. This is Arjuna Uvacha, right? A, you see, this is Arjuna Uvacha, preceded by A, followed by A or Ich. Then let's go to the next one, which is Guna Gunesu Sandhi. So you might not see that. You'll see it look like this on your screen, on your book. Aha plus ash. Okay, if you have the page number, you can just drop it in the chat. And I will share from here. All right, so you see Guna Gunesu Sandhi. So the words Guna Guneshu, they're from Bhagavad Gita chapter 3. Bhagavad Gita chapter 3, there's that verse, Guna Guneshu Vartante, etc. It's verse number 28, in case you're interested. Okay, Guna Guneshu. Now the words are Gunaha Guneshu. So if we even think of that word, we see a Visarga preceded by Akara. Okay, notice how both of the ones we've seen before this were short Akara. This is Ahakara. Okay, the long A, preceded by A and followed by Ash. Okay, Ash. Okay, so repeat after me. Guna Gunesu Sandhi. Okay, so Visarga preceded by A and followed by Ash. Now, what is Ash? Now, it tells us here, but let's look at our chart, Maheshwara Sutra chart. Ash, we see Akara in the first line, right? That's the first thing we see here. And we see Shakara all the way down here, right? We're talking about Shivam Shakara. Okay, Ash. So Ash is all vowels and all soft consonants. Okay, all vowels and all soft consonants. Now you might have a question of what is soft consonants, right? It's a technical term. Here, let me share this with you so you can see that. So this is our alphabet chart. Soft consonants are, if you see, so ka, ka are hard. You see at the top of the screen here, it says hard and soft, right? Those first two columns are what we call hard consonants. And the following four columns starting with ga, jar, da, da, ba, right? Onwards, those columns, third of the class, fourth of the class, fifth of the class, semi-vowels are all soft consonants. Okay, and hakara is a soft consonant. So not those first two columns, but all the other columns are what we call soft consonants. Now, soft consonant is you actually feel your vocal cord moving more. Okay? Ka, ka, ka. They're a little harder, but ga, ga. You feel your vocal cord move a little bit more. Okay? So ka, ka, your vocal cord doesn't move as much. Ga, ga, your vocal cords move a little bit more. They're called soft consonants in technical grammatical language. Okay? But what we need to know, if we go back to right, the Maheshwara Sutra chart, it's that third, fourth, fifth of the class. Okay, let me stop sharing here and come back here. Okay. Semivowels and hakara. Okay, that's why hakara is included at the top here as well, because hakara is not a semivowel, but is a soft consonant. Okay, that's why it's included here. Now, when you see that, what's going to happen? This is going to be, Visarga is going to be elided, just like Arjuna Uvacha Sandhi. That's why these are grouped together. Arjuna Uvacha Sandhi and Guna Gunesu Sandhi. Okay? So let's do some exercises. They have some there. Okay. Now notice how all of these exercises, you have Arjuna Uvacha and Guna Gunesu mixed up in this. Okay? So numbers 1 through blank. What is the Arjuna Uvacha? 1 through blank. What is Arjuna Uvacha? You can type it in, or you can give me fingers.
Sir, Arjuna Vacha is not mixed up here. It is all Devaha. It is Aha.
Yeah. So I wanted to see. Yeah, that's correct. Yep. So they're all akara. That's why it's a little bit tricky. So it's not Arjuna Uvacha Sandhi because they all are preceded by akara. Okay. Arjuna Uvacha is preceded by akara, short akara. So these are all Guna Guneshu, because akara, preceded by akara and followed by either all vowels and soft consonants. Okay, so a thumbs up. We're good with that. Okay, so I was being a little bit sneaky there. So let's look at number 1, right? Devaha asyanti. Even number 1 is Guna Guneshu. Why? Because preceded by akara and followed by a vowel. Ash. Ash includes short akara. Okay? If it was devaha asyanti, if it was devaha asyanti short akara, then this would be shivoham sandhi. Okay, so you have to see what is preceding. That's the main thing you want to catch on. What is preceding? Now we have akara here, right? So devaha asyanti becomes deva asyanti. It goes away. Let's look at number 4. Devaha uchyanti. If it was devaha uchyanti, then we would have Arjuna Uvacha Sandhi. But here we have akara and then u. Akara visarga u. So this is akara. So therefore, this rule Guna Guneshu Sandhi applies, and deva uchyante. Okay, number 10. Let's look at 9 and 10. Okay, va, you have devaha vadanti and devaha gachanti. Remember that soft consonants. Yaralava. Semi-vowels are also soft, And ga is a soft consonant. If you look back at your Maheshwara Sutra chart, right? Ga is in third of the class. It's in the third column. It's not in the first column or the second column of the alphabet chart. It's in the third column, right? Third, fourth, or fifth. It has to be third, fourth, or fifth, and then hakara. Okay? And semivowels. Okay, so you can apply them here too, right? Jana bahavaha. Okay, so I know we understand this, but look, visarga, if we included a visarga, it would be preceded by what letter? A and followed by ba. Ba is a soft consonant, yeah. Soft consonant. So there we have janaha, bahava. Okay, any questions? Are there still questions? Give me another question mark in the chat if you have a question, okay, with these. Okay, so let's review so far. Shivoham Sandhi, Akara, Visarga, Akara. We have then Arjuna Vacha, Akara, Visarga, any other vowel. And then we have Guna Gunesu, Akara, Visarga, and then any vowel and any soft consonant. Okay, let me take a question here. Yeah, let me see. Okay, Harprasadji, I unmuted you. Go ahead.
Is Mahaprana and aspirate are the same?
Mahaprana and aspirate are the same. Yes.
Okay, it is not hard. It does not refer to hard.
I don't believe so. Let me just pull that up, that chart here. Aspirate, yeah, aspirate is Mahaprana.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's different than hard because if you look at those first two columns, you have non-aspirate and aspirate. You have Alpaprana and Mahaprana included into hard.
Is hard consonant is Karkasha Vyanjana?
I've never heard that phrase.
Okay.
But you may be correct. I've only heard to it as hard and soft consonants.
Thank you.
Okay, so let's continue. Any other questions with this? So there's a lot of exercises there, but I feel like you know what I'm gonna ask you. You know they're all Guna Guneshu, so you know what to do. If they were mixed up with the other ones, then we can do a little bit more. But they're all the same. So I think by doing one, we've done them all, right? Okay, that's Vedanta. You do it. No Brahma, no it all. Do one, do it all. Okay, all right. All right. So let's go back to book one here. Now we're going to switch topics. I wanted to do a little bit of Sandhi every time and a little bit of the book one. So we get a little bit of both and we don't get overwhelmed with either. So far we've been looking at pronouns. We've been looking at tad, etad, kim. Okay. Tad, etad, kim. This is, we're going to be looking at Yad, page 96 in the book. Now, but if we remember our tad shabda, it looks like this, saha taute, and then etad shabda, eshaha eto ete. Okay, so let's just chant this etad, and then we'll go to our yad shabda. Ready? You can chant with me. Eshaha eto ete, etam eto etan, etena etabhyam etaihi. Fourth case, etasmai etabhyam, etebhyah. Fifth case, etasmat, etabhyam, etebhyah. Sixth case, etasya, etayoho, etesham. Seventh case, etasmin, etayoho, eteshu. Okay. Yad looks very similar. Okay. So if you look on page 96, Yad looks very similar. It's just like Sarva Shabda. Okay. There's no like, you know how 1-1 for Tad and Etad was Saha and Eshaha. This one, the 1-1 just looks like Sarva. So Ya becomes Yaha Yo Ye. Okay. And we'll talk about Yad itself means which, that which. But depending on which case we decline it at, the translation will have a slightly different flavor to it. Okay. And we're going to see that when we look at our, we call clauses. But let's chant this, this one also quickly. I'm going to increase the speed so you can do it with me. Yaha, yo, ye, yam, yo, yan, yena, yabhyam, yaihi, yasmai, yabhyam, yebhyah, yasmat, yabhyam, yebhyah, yasya, yayoho, yesham, yasmin, yayoho, yeshu. Okay, and there's no sambodhana, there's no vocative. Okay, so it declines just like ya, like ending ya, like sarva. Okay. Now, this is where it becomes a little bit tricky, okay? So yad is what we call a relative pronoun. And the corresponding pronoun is tad. So when you see yad in any sentence, you're usually going to find a tad. And when you see a tad, you oftentimes find a yad, but not necessarily the other way, right? When you see yad, you most of the time see tad, but when you see tad, you don't always see yad, but you can, okay? Let me share here. Okay. So yad is a relative pronoun. The corresponding pronoun is tad. Now, what does that mean? Okay. So a sentence which includes yad is called a relative clause. Okay. When it includes yad, it's called a relative clause. And it's secondary or subordinate to a main clause which includes tad. Okay. And what is indicated by yad is the same thing indicated by tad. Okay. So what this means is the tad part of the sentence, wherever you see tad shabda, and it could be in any of the declensions of tad, that is the main part of the sentence giving you the main pieces of information. So if we see the sentence, right? Saha janati, right? He knows. This is the main clause, main part of the sentence. But now let's say I want to give more information about this person who sees. The person who sees, I want to give more information. So I'm going to give more information through what we call a relative clause, through the yad clause. Okay. So that same person who sees, so it's the same, sorry, I kept saying sees. Same person who knows. Okay, so that main clause there is janati, knows, he knows, right? And I want to say more about the person who knows. So if I want to say more about the person who knows, I can tell you yaha pashyati. So that person who knows, he knows, so that person also sees. Okay, now when I put them together, it would be one who sees, he knows. Okay, so they're referring to one and the same person, but the yaha pashyati just gives me more information about the person who jananti, who knows. Okay, so the main clause is saha janati, but the relative clause yaha pashyati is just giving you information about that same person. Okay, but notice how they can be in any case. So you see this here, yasmat pichyasi tasmat vadami. Now, when you see tasmat in the fifth case, remember we saw it could be heto panchami, so it can be therefore. Therefore, I speak, vadami. But now I want to give more information about that. So I say, yasmat pritchasi, because you ask, therefore I speak. But the cases don't always have to match. Also, you see, yaha upadishati tasmai namaha. So my salutations to him is tasmai namaha. So salutations to him. And that person who I'm talking about is indicated in the yad clause as one who teaches. So the one who teaches, salutations to that person. Okay. So notice how when it's in 1-1, you can often see it as who, because you're indicating a person. If it's in second case, it can be which. Third case, by which. Fourth case, for whom or for which. It depends on what you're indicating through that which. In fifth case, it can be heto, so it can be because. All right. It'll be more clear. Let's do some more sentences. This is in the back of the book, exercise 17. So if you want to open up exercise 17 in the back, that's page, let me tell you what page that's on. That's page 177, I believe. 177, 178, around there. You see, yaha bodhati, saha vadati. Each of these phrases will have a verb. Okay. So you want to identify which is the yad clause and which is the tad clause. The yad clause here is yaha bodhati, and the tad clause is saha vadati. So then let's break up each individually of the yad clause, right? We know the verb is bodhati, buddhatu, 1p to know, lat lakara karti prayoga, third one. So he, she knows. Now we have yaha. Yaha is ya shabda dakarantaha pullinga sarvanama. Sometimes we can write you can write dakaranta, but it's a sarvanama. That's the main thing we need to know, right? But dakaranta pullinga sarvanama shabda. It's prathama vibhakti ekavachanam, it's 1-1. It's kartari pratama to bodhati. Meaning the yaha is the doer to bodhati. But when we translate that, right, it's yaha bodhati. So you have to think of all your W starting words. So one who knows. Okay, let's see what's behind this sheet. Tad clause. Saha vadati. So we pick up the verb again. We treat them almost like two different sentences, even though they're one sentence with two different phrases in it. Okay. So vadatu, to speak, lakara kartri prayoga, third one. Saha is tad shabda, 1-1, kartri prathama to vadati, meaning he knows, or he speaks, he speaks. So we know one who the one who knows speaks, right? So the one who knows, he speaks is the translation of this sentence. Okay, so notice how we're talking about the same person, but this phrase, the yad clause, is giving us more information about the person who's speaking. Okay? The person who's speaking also knows. So we want to say one who knows speaks, or one who knows, he speaks. Okay. Now, yad and tad do not have to be in the same vibhakti. There's a question. Yad and tad do not have to be in the same vibhakti. I think in the exercises, most of the time they are. Yeah, I don't think there's any that. No, this one, number 6, they're not. 7, 8. Yeah, they don't have to be in the same case. Okay. Let's do one more. And then we'll stop. Let's just do, let's say, these ones on the right side are a little longer. We don't have enough time for them. So let's just look at number 3 for now. Can you reverse? Yeah, you can reverse the phrases as well. So he speaks, comma, the one who knows. But that sounds a little bit like Yoda. Yoda flips his clauses a lot of times. But oftentimes in English, the way we say it is the relative, that relative clause comes first, that subordinate clause comes first. Either way, it's not technically wrong in Sanskrit though, yeah? Okay. All right, let's do number 3. Okay, number 3, yaha shankate saha prishnam prichati. Oh. Okay, can't do that. All right, so number 3. So we want to find our yad clause. Okay, yad clause starts with yaha, right? For number 3. So let's just write that first. Yaha shankate. That's my, so let's take that piece now. Yaha shankate. So the verb is shankate. Shank dhatu, I believe it is 1P, or 1A rather. To doubt. And then subantang, right? This is yad shabda is pratipadika, sorry, yad. It is, that's dakaranta sarvanama. I'm not going to write all that, but it's 1, 1, 1. And it's kartari prathama to shankate. So far we have one who doubts. Then the second part of the sentence, it is saha prishnam prichati. Saha prashnam prichati. Okay, so let me give you a little bit more of this. Oh, that did not work. All right, never mind. So we'll take the verb prichasi, which is prach dhatu, 1P, to ask. This is lat lakaraha, Kartari prayoga. Second one. Or third one. So prichati, yeah, prichati, sorry, prichati. So third one. And then we go right to left. So sa prashnam prichati. So prashnam. Which is pratipadika's prashna, which is a ending masculine, which means question. This is 2-1, and it is karmani dvitiya karmani dvitiya to prichati. Okay, so far we have the question, blank ask question. So now we need to do our tad shabda, right? So saha. Yeah, usually we go for a 1-1. Our 1-1 here is saha. So that's tad shabda. This is dakaranta sarvanama. It is 1-1. It is kartari prathama to prichati. So that was very not neat. I wanted to make it a little bit neater, but we know, right? This is he asks what? Question. So the one who doubts, so final translation, one who doubts, he asks a question. Okay. Point of this whole phrase is that the one who asks the question also has a doubt. We're getting more information using the yad clause. Okay. We'll do more examples in the next class, but anybody have any questions right now? Let's end, and then I'll take some questions in between. Okay. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Okay, so if you have any questions, you can let me know here. Yad and tad do not have to be in the same vibhakti, but they refer to the same person or object. And here, which is the main clause in the example? The main clause is always the one with the tad, right? So in number 3, you have yaha shankate saha prashnam prichati. Saha is a tad shabda, right? So this is the main clause, and the yad is always the subordinate clause or the secondary clause. There's a question, Pashyanti yam yogino in Gita Dhyanam, is it using any Sandhi rules? Yeah, so what's the word after yogina? So anyways, yoginaha, there's going to be an akara afterwards, right? Because you have yoginaha. Well, yeah, it keeps going. So there has to be something afterwards, right? But yogino is yoginaha. So I assume that there's an akara afterwards. Yeah, yasyantam, right? So let's think. Yakara, so akara. Yeah, so yoginaha. Yeah, I'll have to check up on that, right? Because it's not akara. I'll check up on that. Homework is to do these numbers do number 1 through 4, just numbers 1 through 4, and we'll do some more of 5 through 8 in the next class, okay? So of this exercise. And I'll check up on the Gita Dhyana. There's a question, if I'm using secondary bhakti, can I make a vakyam like yam pashyami, tam prichami? Yeah, so I can say, I ask that, and then yam would be what I see. So what I see, about that I ask. So I ask that which I see. So yeah, you can do that. They can both be in the second case. Let me know if there's any questions. Whom I see, I ask. Well, technically it would just be I ask that, but by that we can imply a question, right? So the word question isn't there, but just by itself would be who I see, that I ask. But if you're implying a question, right? So who I see, that whom I see, I ask a question. Yeah. Yeah, the right, it would be whom in English, correct? Because karmani in English, who becomes whom when it's karmani. Okay, we'll start in another minute.